Everybody good? Everybody good?
Thank you.
All right. All right, guys, we're good to go. Yes, sir.
All right, good evening. I'm Commissioner Rich Worley. Just after 10 p.m., between 10 and 10:30 this evening, a couple of our officers were here investigating a call from a few days ago where an individual fired multiple rounds at victims. No one was hit during that call, but they were here talking to an individual who we believed was the suspect in that. As they were talking to him, the suspect quickly stood up, withdrew a weapon, and opened fire. Our officers fired, striking the suspect. The suspect has succumbed to his injuries. The officer was shot in the chest. Luckily, his protective vest saved his life. He's at shock trauma and stable condition, recovering. This is still an ongoing investigation. There's plenty of time that we're going to be here looking at all the rounds. The multiple officers did fire their weapon. That'll all be part of the investigation, and I will now turn it over to Mayor Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. First and foremost, we're extremely thankful and grateful that our officer was not severely injured in this incident. The Commissioner and I both had the opportunity to speak with him. He is in as good experience as you can be for someone who just got shot. But again, we want to thank him and his fellow officers for doing exactly what they should be doing. There's been a lot of talk about whether our police officers will focus on what they should be focused on. This is what they should have been focused on, and they did their job tonight, putting themselves at risk, because we will continue to focus on people who are recklessly using illegal handguns and shooting at people, and will not allow that to be tolerated. So we're very grateful for the officers for doing the follow-up to an incident where multiple people could have been shot, and who knows if this individual would have went on to shoot other people were it not for the actions of the officers tonight. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah, Commissioner. I'm sorry, just to make sure I'm getting this right. So they were investigating a call from a few days ago where shots were fired, but no one was hit during that call.
Correct.
Now, as this police officers were talking with the suspect, and that's when the suspect stood up and fired first.
We don't know who fired first. We know that the suspect, as they were talking to him, he was sitting on the steps. As they were talking to him in reference to the incident from the previous couple nights ago, he quickly stood up, withdrew a weapon, and then exchange of gunfire happened. Our officer was struck in the chest. The suspect was struck most likely multiple times and succumbed to his injuries at the hospital.
Do you want to speak on, I'm not sure if you can with the investigation, but when someone does show a weapon or even act like they're going to...
Well, he didn't show it. He withdrew it. I get it. No, he didn't show it. He withdrew it. He pointed at our officers, and the officers shot. Just what they're trained to do. The officers did a phenomenal job. They told him to drop the weapon numerous times. He refused. And as usual, our officers did exactly as they're trained. And the individual was shot. He had plenty of chances to drop the weapon. He could have cooperated. He chose not to. It just goes to show the dangers of the job that our men and women face every single day out here trying to protect the citizens of Baltimore.
And I'll just add, I think we have to be very, very, very clear here. These officers gave the commands. Nobody's out here looking to shoot or kill anybody, but we won't have people pulling out guns, pointing and firing them at anyone, let alone police officers. We have to understand, while we know these individuals have families and we feel sorry for their families, but so do these police officers. So do those individuals who were out here a few days ago who were shot at. And we have to be able to let people know that if you're going to willingly shoot at people, shoot at police officers, there are sometimes unfortunate consequences that come with that.
This is believed to be the same suspect who fired at least 15 rounds at individuals 2 nights prior.
Are you able to release the suspect's name to us?
Not yet.
Okay. And then as far as the officers involved, I know you said several. What's the protocol now for them, and kind of what happens from here? How many are there, if you could tell me?
I know there were at least 3 or 4. I don't know how many exactly. It's still part of the investigation. The officer who was shot and the vest saved his life is at shock trauma. He's recovering. Hopefully he'll be released this evening. They'll all be on administrative leave for at least 10 days. They'll speak to our health and wellness officers, and we'll make sure that they get everything that they need before they come back to duty and are ready to come back to duty.
All right, last questions, anybody?
We heard reports that the officer who was shot was a detective. Is there any way you can confirm that?
Yeah, I can. The officer who was shot was a detective. What we have during the summer is our detectives come out and they work a shift, 1 shift a month. This was this detective's 1 shift a month that he was working. He was acting as a backup officers to the officers that were investigating. And it just shows that even the detectives and everyone else that is supplementing patrol, when they come out here, they come out to do the same exact job that they were trained to do. And he was here as a backup officer and helped to bring the criminal down. And unfortunately, he succumbed to his injuries.
Thank you guys. We'll send out
Thank
media
you.
advisors.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Commissioner. Thanks, Mayor.
I just need to give my sound.
Okay.
Commissioner did. All right, good evening.
I was
You
gonna
were
say,
rolling?
Yeah, please. They might just need to focus you on the, that's okay.
Good. Good evening. My name's Thomas, Thomas Lester, Lester. I'm a spokesperson with the Maryland Office of the Attorney General. As standard protocol with the state law, the Baltimore City Police Department notified our office this evening of a fatal officer-involved shooting. Investigators with our office are on scene, collecting evidence, working with Baltimore City Police Department to gather information. We do know that the officers involved in this evening's incident were equipped with body-worn cameras. Our office will work to release that footage in coordination with the Baltimore City Police Department. In addition, within the next 2 business days, our office will release the name of the decedent and the involved officers, pending that there are no safety concerns. Following that, the next steps is our investigators and attorneys will work to piece together exactly what happened this evening, and then we will send a report up to the Attorney General, who will review that, and our findings will be made public at the conclusion of our investigation.
So, Thomas, you guys are kind of handling the investigation.
Yeah, so with the Baltimore Police Department, because they are under a consent decree, it's a little different than how we operate in other areas of the state, but the police department is also conducting their internal affairs investigation, and we're conducting an investigation as well, which is standard, again, in any fatal incident involving law enforcement across the state of Maryland.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for doing that.
No problem.
You could have easily gotten away, so thank you
Yep,
so much.
no
Thank
problem.
You. Seriously. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Vernon and Freddie, so much.
Yeah, have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Helping. Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.
You're send that out in the morning. Just I don't know if they'll necessarily need a